Welcome, my love. It's Knowledge Butterfly. As always, sending you guys all peace, blessings, love, and abundance. Excuse me, I just did my hair not too long ago. But, yeah, so this video is really, it's really deep to me. A few days ago, I had a dream about my mother. And, actually, not just one, multiple dreams about my mother. And I had called one of my sisters, and I was telling her about it. And she gave me her interpretation of it, and I took that information, and then I talked to my second sister, and she gave me her interpretation, and then I took that information, and then I just sat, with myself. I wound up doing other things. I didn't ponder on the messages of the dreams. I didn't try to, interpret it for myself. I just allowed it to come to me. Actually, let me go back. Before this part happened where I just sat with it and allowed it to come to me, after I talked to my second sister, I actually wound up talking to her king as well, and he is in tune with his gift of being able to see spirits. And so he told me that my mother was right here, and even though it looks like my right side, is actually my left side. And he asked me, well, he didn't say my mother, he said there was a woman next to me. And my sister said, it's her mother, just like that, because she knew it was my mother. And we had just had a conversation about my mother coming to me in multiple dreams through her image, really her image as water. It was just the water in the form of a human. But I mean, it was really dope. It was really deep. But anywho's, so she knew because we just had this conversation. And so he was like, oh, okay, she's on this side and she's beautiful. And I was like, thank you. So, me and my sister were talking about how I told her my mom kept telling me in a dream that I need to let her in. I need to let her in, you know what I'm saying? Really release and let go and stop trying to hold on to so much stuff, let her in. And so, like I said, I just sat with it and I allowed myself to just do other things until it actually came to me, what my mother was trying to communicate to me. And my mother, because they said it would be easier for me if I let her in, it would be easier. And so I realized that it meant that I needed to speak with her more. I needed to acknowledge her more. And not just in conversations when I'm with my sisters and bring her up, not just when I'm recording a YouTube video about her, but actually I spend in real time with her, talking to her, because she's right here with me, acknowledging her. Because what you focus on in life, the energy you put into things is your currency. And what happens is you're feeding something. All energy is going somewhere. So it's being fed on by something else. Therefore, if you are putting a certain amount of energy into your ancestors, you're giving that energy for them to feed off of. And I'm talking about your particular ancestors, the ancestors that you know that are there for you and that are there to lift you up. So you're paying currency to them. You're feeding them. So when you do altars, when you do real altars, those altars are being set up because it's something that you are vibing with. You're feeling their vibration. First off, you start by, if you're not feeling their vibration, you start with what you know about them. That's why it's best to put up pictures of ancestors at the beginning, because you know their names, you spend time with them, you know what liquor they like, you know what foods they like, and things of that nature. And then you build upon that. You're feeding their energy with things that you knew they liked. So that's coming from a heart chakra space, because you're giving to someone. First off, you're giving to them with the notion of unconditional love and reverence. But you're also giving to them something that they love. So that's tapping into their heart space and their heart chakra. So we're feeding one another's heart chakra, and that's really what this is all about. getting to the level that you're feeding the heart chakras of your ancestors and yourself. Therefore, you are always leveling up and winning. When you're trying to conquer everything through these lower seals and lower chakras, you're going to always be caught up in that same loop. And you're going to actually be more of a vampiric energy. Okay? And so, anywho's, so my mom was saying, not only putting the things on the altars, having your water, having a certain color, and people tell you to do white because white taps into the ancestral plane, but I'm going to tell you it's always best to go with your gut and what you feel. My shrine and altar has a red cloth on it because I couldn't find anything white, and I found something that was in this house, and it was something my mother bought actually. And it was the color red. And red represents what? Your root chakra, and it represents your foundation, your family, and your ancestors. Okay? Your two-strand DNA. So when you're utilizing red, you are tapping into your blood. It's dealing with your blood. And so I remember feeling like it was okay for me to use this red. And then, bonus points, my mother purchased it. And it was the runner that she had in the dining room. So that's attached to my mother. That's energy that she touched. So I'm feeding into her energy, and I'm raising her up, And then on my altar, I have my playing deck of cards, and I didn't even realize it till just right now talking to you guys. And yes, I'm talking to you guys. Is that I have the playing deck of cards on the side of my mother. My mother's on the left side, her and her ancestors, and my father's ancestors are on the right side. And I chose that because you'll be like, oh, well, the feminine energy is the right brain or right hemisphere, and the masculine is the left hemisphere. But I chose it because I'm looking at the pillars. I'm looking at the right side, God's the left side of the body. So you represent the right side. The left side is like your ancestors, your mother's side. And the left brain still represents you. And then your father's side represents the right side of your body. You know what I'm saying? The DNA is intertwining, so this is the pathway for, what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm not. So what my mother was saying basically was, excuse me, it's a lot of information that's been coming to me, and I just want to deliver it and make sure I don't miss any points. And plus, I almost lost where I was going with that because I started getting into the left and the right. Oh, the playing deck of cards being on the left side. So that's why the playing deck of cards are on the left side. Thank you, ancestors. That's why it's on the left-hand side. Okay? Because we're dealing with the divine feminine energy is what governs the left side of your body. And, vice versa. So you're dealing with the X, the crossing of the DNA, the X-men and X-women. All right? So for me to unconsciously I'm going to get back to the deck now. For me to unconsciously put that deck of cards, because I just did what I felt when I was creating this altar, and I would start questioning myself, and I would put it one place, and they're like, ooh, they don't feel right, and move it, and that's okay. Do that. It's your shit. So if you place it on one part, and you watch somebody's video and they told you got to do it this way, but when you do it, it feels right that way, that's good, because it's your rhyme or reason. You could do the reverse. You can have your father's side on the left side and your mother's side on the right side. It's what you feel. That just felt right to me. You know what I'm saying? Do as thou wilt. All right? And so, anywho, I also have the two elephants, and I talked about this in a previous video. One of the elephants is my mother's elephant. On the left-hand side is my mother's black elephant she had in the bathroom upstairs, and I purchased my own gold elephant from Dragon and Phoenix bookstore, and it has patterns and things in it, but that's a balance. That's something that came from a mother, something old and something new, something that came from me. And then in the center I have a plate that has pennies on it, and even though the pennies are all not copper, because I think it's anything after 1985, so starting at 1986 is no longer made with copper, it's still me tapping into the indigenous energy. And I have that with my mother because the mitochondrial DNA, you are seamlessly connected to your mitochondrial DNA, meaning you can tap back to memory from the very beginning where that DNA started. You can tap into all your mitochondrial DNA. Okay? We are our mother's children. So I have the pennies, and that was unconsciously that I did that too. That plate of pennies sitting right there on the altar. okay, between the two elephants. And then I have Lakshmi, a little gold statue. Pretty sure it's not real gold, but whatever. Little gold statue of Lakshmi that's sitting right behind that plate. And then my mother picture, her picture's in the center. I recently added a heart chain of hers that I found around the altar. And then on my daddy's side, I have the tarot cards that I pulled. I have the water. I have a six-pointed star candle. And then in the center, I have this ceramic bowl that I made when I was in high school. And my mother kept it. And I used to have it in my room, and I put, which is this room, and I put some fake flowers in it, like some pink and purple flowers in it. And my mother kept it the whole time. She never got rid of it. And my father kept it. It's still been here the whole time. So that's in the center. That's what bridges the two things, families together, something that I made and put together. And that just came to me right now as I'm talking to you guys. And then when I do my ritual, I light my candle in that center because I'm bringing both of that. I'm weaving that DNA together perfectly and seamlessly. I'm correcting the flaws. I'm correcting the things that we call generational curses between both strands. Making something new, becoming a new being. All right? Also in the center, I had picked some pine cones that were still stuck to a small piece of the little branch or stick because it's really small. And I crisscrossed it to make the X. Chromosome came to me and I just did it. It's on a dresser so it stacks up and it has other things. I won't go into all those things, but I do have placed things again the way that I felt. And I love that area because it looks like a pillar and then there's a mirror in between it. And when I stand in that mirror, I'm that center point between both of my parents and I'm bringing that DNA together. So it all works and it flows seamlessly. All right, but anywho, that's me getting into my altar, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because the detail on the revelations were just coming to me, and my ancestors are actually telling me why I placed things the way I did it. I did it because it felt comfortable, but my ancestors, my mother in particular, just explained to me why. You know what I'm saying? That information came up. So yeah, my mother was basically sharing with me. I channeled from her that we got to start talking to them more. Everything that I did it thoughtfully. You know, the things, because you start with certain things and you start adding things, and I realize I keep adding things to the altar. And those additions, excuse me, my lips are dry out. Those additions are coming from your ancestors. They're telling you what they want on that altar. They're telling you the energy that feeds them. That speaks to their heart chakra. Okay? So, when my mother told me what she was telling me in those dreams was for me to speak to her more, recognize her more. When baby Malia was here, Malia would see her and she would say her name and just point. And even when I feel like she might not have saw her, she would just say it all the time. It was mama speaking to her, reminding me, say my name, speak my name, speak my name, speak life into me. I'm raising her up. And therefore she also can raise me up. You know, so we understood that. Well, now we're getting back to that. You're raising up your ancestors. And even those where people be like, you know, they was a fool in this lifetime, they was an alcoholic, they was crazy. You might not have respected them here, but if you still feel like you can fuck with them on a certain level, feed them too. Meaning, speak to them. Speak life into them. Just shoot the breeze and shoot the shit just like they was a regular nigga. It ain't gotta be all this, I'm holding a red candle and stuff. No, it's gotta be real. My Uncle Junior, he just used to call us little niggas all the time. Little niggas. All the time. When he was drunk, though, because he didn't talk to nobody when he wasn't. And I remember the last time I saw him before he transitioned, I had brought my grandmother some soup I had made. Actually, Jamaican sip. And he was like, you ain't bring me none? He never even gave you eye contact. But he was like, you ain't bring me none? And I was like, oh, I got you next time, Unc. And next thing I know, he not here no more. 3 months later. You know what I'm saying? So actually, I think he brought that story up because he wants me to make him some of that sip. So I got to get on top of that. The next time I make some sip, place it on the altar for him. So those are the types of things that you're supposed to be doing, because realizing that, though, first off, all is mind and universe is mental, so their conscious level is why they were the way they were here. They lacked knowledge of self, and he just chose to give up in life because he was that unhappy. So when you gain that heart chakra compassion, you can actually connect to his heart chakra and see what was really going on with him and have empathy for him and compassion. So yeah, talk to your ancestors, y'all. Whoever you got on that altar, if you don't know who they are, then you still just look at their picture and you reverence them. If you know their name, speak their name and just say thank you. Just say thank you, because of you I am. You know what I'm saying? Even if you heard stories about them and somebody told you about them, I heard this story, talk to them about that. You got to learn how to connect to that frequency. When you are picking up these objects, my mother's runner, I'm connecting to her frequency. Anything that was hers and I asked at that altar, I'm connecting to her frequency. When I'm talking to her, I'm connecting to her frequency and I'm able to hear her. That's why I wasn't about to do a video. I just smoked a little bit. I am feeling, my knees are feeling so much better. And I'm just watching TV and I was chilling. And I was about to go to sleep because I'm starting a 7-day fast. 3 days liquids only, and then 4 days one meal. And I'll get into a little bit of that at the end of the video. So if any of you guys want to participate, you can do so. But yeah, guys, let's talk to our ancestors. This is the time to do it in this 2020 with all this bullshit going on, with this fake pandemic they got going on, with the lies they keep telling, with them trying to push these vaccines that are killing people, and they're trying to murder the melanated populations of this world and this planet, because the European is dying. They're dying off. You can Google. Dr. Elena Bay did a beautiful video that I just watched today with DreamWise, talking about showing all these articles showing how the Europeans are dying out, and more of them are dying than the rate of them dying is greater than them being born, okay, or births. So all of this is a last minute ditch and push to survive. And when we understand the ego is fight or flight. It's the root chakra, fight or flight. It ain't about you sacrificing yourself for the greater good, because sacrifice has to come from a heart chakra space. You don't sacrifice if you're not tied into your heart chakra, really. If you don't have if you don't have a connection to the heart chakra. That's how you know somebody got a soul, because they have a heart. If a nigga ain't got a heart, I'm not talking about the heart that's beating in your chest. That's the ego. The ego has a fake, counterfeit heart. I'm talking about your real heart. And this is not to shame this heart, because I know you need this heart in this body. But I'm explaining to you, people who only have this heart is very disconnected from what we can connect to, those who can connect to the real shit. So anywho's, with all that going on, you need to connect with your ancestors. This is a 2020 year, and all of this is distracting you so that you don't connect as a family. If you're in quarantine, you need to be connecting with the ones that are there with you. I should say if you're in quarantine, because shit, I guess everybody is. In my mind, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I'm free. I was free. So for those of you who have a quarantine mentality or whatever, or even still, we are all supposed to be in quarantine, the people that are around you, you want to connect with them. Real shit, family shit, laugh, fun, have a good time, enjoy each other, lift each other up. Live from a heart chakra space as much as possible. Lift up your heart chakra. For those of you who have a mate or a spouse, you want to have sex, and I talked about this because they're trying to suppress the kundalini. I talked about this. You need to have sex. We need to have sex magic if you can do that. If you are tapped into sex magic, you need to be doing that. Dr. Beverly Randolph, and you know what, I could be saying it wrong, but he was the actual real creator of all the secret societies in America. He is the blueprint for all the secret societies. But anywho, he has books on sex magic, and so you need to be tapping into that, and then you need to be speaking to your ancestors, and you need to be feeding your ancestors. And I don't mean like as if they rule you. I mean as if from a heart chakra space in love and appreciation. The root chakra thinks somebody rules over you because it's at the bottom. Therefore, it cannot see itself at the top, the crown. However, those of us who have attained at least right here, we know that there is something underneath us. Therefore, we know that it don't rule us. All right? So, anywho's, feed your ancestors in a loving way. Speak to your ancestors every day. That rhymed. And, just love on yourself during this time. You don't live in any type of fear. That's what it means, live in love. Your heart chakra. I ain't talking about the fake love, acting like everything's okay. I mean, live in love, real love, where you actually care about the well-being of others from a heart chakra space, really. And you care about yourself, but you got to care about yourself before you can get to that space. And then the last thing I want to bring up is what I'm going to do. It's not a challenge or anything. Actually, today is the last day of my Get Your Mind Right challenge. So that ends today. And I made it 21 days. Namaste, y'all. Listen, I made it through that bitch. That is a round of applause for me. Round of applause. That was some Waka Flocka. Hey, hey. Wakanda forever. Anywho, that is a very good accomplishment for myself because I have a tendency to start things but not finish those things. Like the true nature of the sun sign in Sagittarius. I say quotations because I'm past that now, but I'm just going to explain to you. I was walking in the true negativeness of the sun sign in Sagittarius. I would say I'm going to do something and I wouldn't follow through on it because I get really excited at the beginning, but as I start to decline and lose momentum, I just like fuck it, it ain't doing nothing. But when you're doing it from a heart chakra space, meaning you're doing it because you actually really care, and you don't care if you connect to one person or you connect to 100 people or you connect to 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000. You care that you connected to that one person, and even if that one person is you. But it's even doubly better if it's two, because that means you connected to somebody else and you met that person intertwined from a heart chakra space. And you did something better for their lives. Like I did have a couple of people reach out to me and tell me that was something they needed during this time because they were really down. We don't even think about where people's minds are and how they're feeling about themselves. A lot of times we get so caught up in our everyday lives and things we feel like we don't have that we don't think about the collective. And like, you know what? Some people are really fucked up and maybe I am okay and I actually got it better off than other people because at least in my mind, I'm not feeling like depressed. There are really people that are dealing with mental stuff and I've been there, so I understand it. So at this point in time, if we are all working to live in our heart chakra, and better yet, as my sister pointed out, we are in a higher heart chakra moment right now, dealing with the higher heart chakra, which is where which is tied to your thymus gland, which is also tied to your inner child, and your higher heart chakra is your inner child. That's where the compassion really starts to kick in. That's when pure love, being pure of heart, that's where innocence kicks in. That's really where the wounds exist. That's why the thymus gland dies. If you Google and do any research on the thymus gland, how much more bigger it is from an infant than when you get to 30, it shrinks. By the time it's constantly shrinking every year that you live on this planet. But by 30, after that, it's gone. It's atrophied. It's shriveled down. Because children come out of more of a pure love space. They're pure of heart. It is the motherfucking people that already been here in this prison that's killing it. It's like you go to jail, you get locked up, and niggas start telling you, you start looking around, and niggas start telling you how fucked up the place is. But the difference is, as a child, you done lost the fact that you in prison. Whereas, at least here, these niggas already know when they walk in, this is prison. This ain't a cakewalk. But as a child, you come in here like crying, dependent on everybody else for something. But you still have a joy. You still can laugh if your daddy does something like, plays with your stomach and like does a little, the noise, I'm not going to do it. Or your mama does that. Or, tickles you, or whatever it may be. Just an innocence about you. You running around, you doing all these things, you exploring and trying to figure out this world again. You're trying to learn how to crawl, walk, you're learning, then you get to the stage where you're walking around and you're trying to touch everything, put everything in your mouth. You're finally able to explore outside. You want to touch the grass if you're not afraid of it, because some children are. You want to touch the trees, the leaves. You want to maybe run after birds. You want to do all these things. You're excited. You want to explore. Your thymus is still healthy. But by the time people start to knock you down and knock you down and knock you down and tell you what you can't do and all these things, that is literally killing the child. That's killing your true self, your soul. That's killing the spirit. So you start to decline and decline and decline, and that's why the thymus starts to shrink. So this is a higher heart chakra year. This is meaning we're going to a higher octave of our heart chakra. That's what the earth was doing when we did those who participated in the 444 meditation on 4/4/4/4/2020. That's what we did. We were bringing Earth up into a higher heart chakra space. That's why they're doing all this. They're trying to add more time, and time is speeding up for them. It's gotten faster and faster and faster. That's why they had to move up the deadline, because we sped time up. The more of us waking up and coming into ourselves. Keep waking up. Keep doing your spiritual work. Keep feeding the spirit, because the matter can never kill the spirit. It can never defeat the spirit. It's like an ant trying to move a mountain. So, I just really want to say that to you guys. Talk to your ancestors. Link up with them. That energy by giving to them. Favorite foods, whatever you do. And build on your higher heart chakra. Live from that space, because we're dealing with the child now. And one other point, the astrological point in the sky that represents your inner child is the wounded healer, and that's Chiron. Chiron is that space between Saturn and Uranus. And you can't break out of Saturn, which is the school and the cycles and the discipline. You can't break out of Saturn and go to Uranus until you deal with the wounded child. It's there for a reason. The inner child has got to be healed. Got to be healed in order to bring yourself to a higher chakra. You got to let go of all the shit that your parents did. You got to, that's why they say you have to forgive for yourself, not for others. Because forgiveness is a part of your higher heart chakra. Well, really your heart chakra, because you can't tap into your higher heart chakra until you can forgive. You got to help. The heart chakra helps heal the higher heart chakra, or your inner child. That's like the mama helping the son or the child. So, yeah, guys, let's do that. But I was talking about the 7-day thing. I got caught up in that because my sister, that was a great point, and thank you for that, sis. I'm gonna do 7 days of fasting after doing my 21-day Get Your Mind Right challenge, which I appreciate those who participated in it. You guys are amazing. When we participate in group activities, collective consciousness, coming together collectively, we are raising the vibration of the earth. We're raising the vibration of each other, and we're doing it more expeditiously. We're doing it faster, all right? So that's why it's important to actually participate in these types of things. Of course, if you're really into it, but participate in these type of things, because it not only helps yourself, it helps the conscious collective, all right? And so that really benefited me a lot. If I hadn't done that 21 days, I feel like I wouldn't have got to the space to connect with my mother, because I still had, as we all do, we will continue to have thoughts we have to release and transmute, because we are in a body, we're in flesh, we're dealing with the ego, the conscious mind, or whatever you want to call it. We are always going to deal with that as long as we're in a body. So the 21-day challenge taught me so many things, and it brought me to a place right now where I feel really much more connected to my mother. And she's really, I've been channeling a lot of information from her lately. Like I feel that the floodgates are open, and that's where I needed to be in order to be at this point to be recording this video with you guys. So I appreciate you guys for being with me and releasing those toxic thoughts that don't benefit us and that actually weigh us down and have us continuing to start back over and repeating lessons. All right. So now, starting tomorrow on the 15th until April the 22nd, which is Earth Day, that'll be my last day. I'm going to do a 7-day fast because I want to go into Earth Day. Cleansing all of my cells and cleansing my body, my mind, and all those things, my spirit. So I'm going to do 3 days of a liquid fast, and a liquid fast will consist of, I might do like a smoothie, definitely do some tea, and a whole bunch of water. All right. And then I'll do that for 3 days. And then the last 4 days, I'll eat one meal a day. And that meal will be greens. It'll have to be kale or spinach, cabbage, collards, whatever. But it has to be something green. And I can also do green fruit. Like if I do a salad, I can add some type of green fruit on there. But it'll be one meal a day. But it'll, of course, be fluids and things of that nature. So a whole bunch of water because I'm looking to increase and move up to the next level in my consciousness because I definitely feel the higher heart chakra vibration, just the doing the poem on the fly because that came from my inner child, that part of me. That's why I said I hadn't done it since middle school. You're going to start seeing yourself do things that you haven't done since you were a little child, and it just flowing and coming to you easily and effortlessly, and that's because that's the true you coming back up. So in order for me to keep myself on this momentum, I'm going to do the fast. All right. So I'm not saying that it'll be hard. I'm actually going to speak life and say that it's going to be easy and it's going to be, I'm going to feel energetic and I'm going to feel inspired and creative. And I'm going to feel very artistic. I'm going to, and I, not going, and I feel. So I'm going to say all these things and create all these affirmations for myself. And as I'm doing my 7-day fast, I can also post and provide you guys with some of those affirmations that I'm utilizing to keep myself inspired to go forward. So for those who want to participate, this is not a challenge. This is just letting you know I'm going to do a fast. And if you feel so need to join me, you can comment below and say you're going to join me in solidarity, or you can just do it. You don't have to let me know. You can just do it. So yeah, 7 days, y'all, until April the 22nd. Now, April the 22nd, like I said, is the Earth Day, but it's also the first day of Taurus season. I think it's the first day of Taurus season. It might be the first day of Taurus season. And even if it's not, it is still Taurus season. And that's important to me because Taurus is an Earth sign, all right? So that's why I feel like it's the first day of Taurus season. So to do that, also on 4/22/2020, it's another 444. So that gives me 7 days of doing a cleanse, going into another 444, because I'm really into manifesting things right now. I'm into creating the utopia and what I see my life going. Because right now they're trying to paint the picture of doom and gloom. Because even when we're informing each other of the agendas and things they're doing, this is turning way longer. I'm just going to go as long as I flow. So even if we like, okay, we know what Bill Gates is doing. We know he hates us. We know he's a genocidal maniac. Even though we know these things, I feel like it's cool to put that out there so we can be informed. However, the more and more we speak on it, the more and more we're feeding into their energy. So remember, I just told you with your altars, and not just doing altars, you need to speak to your ancestors. So when you speaking of these people, you, even if you speaking that you hate them, that's still energy that they're gaining on. They don't live from a heart chakra space. So it has to get to a point where we know that all is mind, the universe is mental, and we need to speak life into the things we want to create on this plane. That's what that Get Your Mind Right has really taught me. Okay? So for me, I see us overcoming. I see us taking control and having the power. I see us walking in our light, and I see us walking in our power. We are divine. I am divine. You are divine. So I see myself walking in that like never before. I got my little spat out earlier because I went off because I was pissed off after I saw the Dr. Lean video, and it was good for me to allow my feelings to come out in my emotions. But now I'm in a building type of mood. We are in 2020. That's the number 4, and we are building, y'all. So the narrative that they're painting is a narrative that they want you to do so that you can build what they want you to build. But, what if we start building what we want to fucking build? And we're speaking life into ourselves and to each other. We speaking the prowess of ourselves and posting about ourselves and our greatness. What if we start doing that? What if we start posting about the shit that we got going on? And this black business got this going on. And all these things, instead of trying to be on this, we got to be on the reactive. We on the defense. We on the defense. We got to, okay, y'all got to come here and get this colloidal silver because it's going to build up your immune system. Okay, y'all got to come get this sea moss from me because, and I'm not saying that those things may not be needed, but what I'm saying is we're still being reactive instead of proactive, and we're still teaching people, okay, you got to come here, you got to get this from me because now you got to do this because this is what they're trying to do to you. But what if you say, you know what, I'm the motherfucking power here. My mind is all and it creates this motherfucker. What if I say, fuck them, I'm going to speak life into me, and my heart felt that real. I'm going to speak life into me and into my sisters and into my brothers. What if I say that? What if I say that I'm not saying ignore and not be aware, but when that energy comes to you, you start to change that energy and transmute it, niggas. We are the fucking alchemists. Bitch, I'm the Holistic Energy Alchemist. Therefore, what I do is I transmute this bitch. I make this my bitch. I know that my words give life or death. So guess what? If I'm gonna feed it anything, I'm gonna feed it death and motherfucking destruction. Because I am Sekhmet, which means I'm a destroyer. I'm Kali in this bitch. I'm a destroyer. And then when I choose to build up, that's gonna be my mama energy. That's gonna be my Osar energy, my Asar or my Isis energy. You feel me? That's gonna be my Kuan Yin compassion for my people. That's gonna be my Naga Kanya, raising my Kundalini energy and building up the enlightenment and feeding the collective unconscious people and the conscious people with some light. That's what I'm going to be doing. Because the unconscious collective just represents the people that are unconsciously doing shit, the subconscious mind, but they're not aware of it. And the collective conscious is the niggas that's supposed to have the light. So either way, we winning because we would be feeding both sides of it. That's who I choose to be. I choose to be the light. That don't mean that I'm going to be all positive all the time. I mean, not speaking truth and when niggas trying to do shit. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep talking about the prowess of someone who don't have prowess. They ain't got a soul. They don't have what I have. I am the true value. You are the true value. So when you know your wealth, when you know you the true millionaires, but you've been Cinderella in this bitch, and the wicked stepsisters thought that they can take what belongs to you, bitch. Start thinking of yourself as the motherfucking ones in these fantasies, and you the overcomer. Every time, start seeing yourself as the hero and the victor. Start seeing yourself as being the one with the victory and the winner. Stop seeing yourself as being suppressed and oppressed. Stop it. Stop it. Because that's what they feed off of. They need that energy. They're not feeding off your motherfucking money. That shit is obsolete. They showing you it's obsolete. Because now what they trying to say? That shit is contagious. You touch that, you gonna get the corona. So, that tells you something. They can change the currency like that, right? That tells you that ain't the currency. That tells you who the currency actually is. We are. So, I'm going to end the video on that note, guys. I really appreciate you for tuning in and for hearing me go on my rants, y'all. Go from the Ancestor Shrine to giving y'all some extra time to help you release the shit that's been on your mind, alright? So, I'm going to end the video. Peace. Oh, love you guys. What am I doing, guys? Y'all like, what is she doing? I was doing peace this way, but yes, peace. Love you guys. I've been smoking a little. It's all good. Peace.